Hey everybody, welcome back to Bottom of the Glass.
Hola, amigos.
Hey,
What's up?
hey.
Oh, cheers.
COVID's cheers.
Oh, sorry, I can't cheers
Clink.
the tops.
Clink. Oh wait, we got it.
Oh yeah. Cheers.
Oh, that's some crisp Busch Light. Busch Light apple.
Busch Light apple, brought to you by the Busch Light Company. Limited edition.
Speaking of, if you haven't tried it, fucking try it. It's delicious.
It is. It is fairly
It's
good.
really, really good.
Yeah.
But today, Robert, Big Rob,
Yes.
we're talking about Ray Rivera.
Ray Rivera.
So Netflix comes out with this series. Well, not series. This show
Yeah. Unsolved
Recently.
Mysteries.
that was on the air before.
Correct. It was a long-running old-time show.
Yep. But it came out on Netflix recently. There's a whole bunch of unsolved mysteries on there, which we could do 7 episodes on.
Shit, we could do most of them.
Except the UFO one. That one's fucking stupid. If you haven't seen the show,
haven't seen it.
watch it. It's really good. But we're talking about Ray Rivera.
This is the first show.
Very first episode.
Yep. And it's, oh shit, I forgot the name of the show. Fuck on me.
Something about a hotel jumper.
Yeah, something like that. I don't know.
Anyways, the first show in the series. Excuse me, COVID.
Oh no.
But-
Not the COVID.
so we're gonna-
it's Mystery on the Rooftop.
Mystery on the Rooftop. There you go. We're gonna dig into this a little bit. I don't think we're gonna try and solve it.
It's, so many people have already tried.
There's so many theories. We're gonna give our thoughts and theories.
And we'll touch on a couple other theories.
But we're going to start by giving you some background on what it is and what happened. So I'm going to let you take it away because this is our third time doing this intro.
Yeah.
First time was recording from the laptop microphone. That was stupid. Second time, Rob was talking into the back of his microphone.
Yeah, not on purpose.
So it didn't sound very good.
Don't
So
judge
this time, third time's a charm.
Don't judge me.
We're going to get this right.
Fuck you guys.
So take it away, Rob.
So, Ray Rivera, right? Okay. We'll start at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Ray Rivera and his wife recently moved from California
Yep.
to Baltimore, Maryland, right?
Mm-hmm.
They moved there because of Ray's job. He just got a job with Stanberry and Associates.
Which is owned
Right.
by his best friend,
Right. Porter Stansberry.
Porter Stansberry.
So him and his wife Allison moved to this house in Baltimore, and some way or another they get this roommate Claudia, and she lives there with them. Okay, so they're living at this house. Allison, I don't know what she does for work, but she had to go on a business trip.
Yep.
She was gone. While she was gone, she finished her day at her conference or whatever she was doing, and she tried to call Ray at the end of the night. And Ray
Just let him know that she was there and blah, blah, blah.
check in.
Yep.
Ray didn't answer, which is unlike him, supposedly, right?
Yep.
So she's like, well, what the fuck? She tries again, didn't answer. So she calls Claudia, the housemate, who was at the house. And Claudia's like, oh no, his phone rang and he just left.
We just took off in a
Took off.
hurry.
Yeah, quickly. Like didn't grab anything. He just left.
Yep.
So she's like, well, that's unlike him. So she called his family. I was like, hey, have you talked to Ray? Have you heard from Ray? Nothing. Nobody had heard anything. So she's like, well, fuck, I'm going home.
Yep.
I'm on my
She
way
went home.
So she gets home. Claudia goes back to New York. I think it was New York City.
Wherever she came from or was going.
Ray's family comes in. They all start looking for him. Porter Stansberry comes in, starts looking for him. Porter Stansberry puts up $1,000 for any information leading to Ray.
Yep. $1,000 reward, gets the media involved.
Right. Nothing.
Like he cares.
They can't fucking find the guy.
Yep.
So her parents are driving around looking for the car. They end up stumbling upon the car, right?
In a all by itself in a parking lot.
Randomly.
A block or two from
Where he works.
where he works.
Stansberry and Associates. Okay, so they found the car. Turn the car over to police. Police search the car. Nothing. Can't find any information. They nothing. Like no clues. Fucking nothing.
Yep.
Okay, which is odd because the guy's been fucking missing.
Right.
But the car was parked in a lot, and there was a ticket on the car, and it had showed that it was like 6 days or something. So they'd known that he drove to that lot from their house, and that's where he was.
Yep. That's where he parked and left it.
Right, so that's where he was missing from.
Yep.
So the family is like, well, okay. The family and friends are all like, well, we need to search this area. We got to figure out what the fuck's going on. 3 of Ray's coworkers find this hole.
So first.
Oh yeah.
First.
Go ahead.
So they come to the parking lot where his car was found.
Yep.
First as a search party.
Right.
To try and figure out where he went. Well, the coworkers ended up going to the Belvedere Hotel.
The parking ramp across from it.
Going to the Belvedere Hotel. Went up. I don't know if they went to the roof right away or they were just up in a hallway way up high.
They're on top of the parking ramp.
Oh, they're on the parking ramp. That's right.
Yeah.
Across from, right next to the Belvedere.
Right.
And notice a hole.
In the lower roof.
In the lower roof next to
the Belvedere.
The parking ramp. In between the parking ramp and the Belvedere.
Right.
So then they informed authorities.
Correct.
Which then got in touch with the Belvedere because the hole was part of the Belvedere Hotel.
Oh, no, this was a smaller hole. Not a huge hole.
Barely big enough probably for him to fit through.
Correct.
Okay.
And if you haven't guessed already.
If you haven't seen it, spoilers, sorry.
Right.
But so they contact the Belvedere. They get in touch with the manager who had worked there forever.
Yeah, like since he was a busboy as a kid.
Yeah. And the room, so they let him into the room.
It was an old rec room.
An old rec room that wasn't being used.
Correct.
We're getting a little ahead of ourselves, though. So they let him in, and then they find Ray's body.
Right.
And it stinks.
And it's partially decomposed.
Decomposing because it's been there so long at this point.
Yep.
That room wasn't being used.
Correct.
So somebody either A, had prior knowledge of it not being used, or just kind of a fluke deal.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, then, as soon as Ray's body gets found.
So Ray's body's found. His flip-flops. His flip-flops are on the roof.
Yep. One of them has a strap broken off the side.
Yep. His phone is on the roof.
Where the hole was found.
Yep.
This is stuff around the hole.
Right. His phone is intact.
No scratches. The screen's not cracked. It's still working.
The building is 188 feet high.
The Belvedere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And his glasses are also on the roof.
Not scratched. Not cracked.
Not broken.
Not broken.
Perfect condition.
Like they were placed there almost.
Correct.
Suspicious.
Very.
Little strange.
Yep.
Not saying it couldn't have happened.
Right.
But
when they did find
chances
him,
are small.
His bones were broken.
Yeah. The coroner was unable to determine the cause of death.
Correct.
So, which in turn means he couldn't rule it a suicide.
Right. Which the police
were pushing for.
Definitely pushing for. The police and the FBI, because the FBI was involved.
Yeah. I think they were so far, they didn't have enough leads. So they were just trying to close the case.
They didn't have enough evidence to support anything.
Yeah. So
they didn't have any evidence.
All of this happens. Immediately, his best friend, the guy that got him to move from California,
put up $1,000 reward.
Got the media involved
to help find him.
Slaps a gag order on all of the employees at Sansbury and Associates,
where Ray was working.
Where Ray was working as a financial writer.
Yeah, like a writer, videographer. There you go. Yeah, and that's what he brought him there to do.
And refuses to talk to authorities.
Yeah.
Everybody, that whole business shut off.
And even
they wouldn't talk to nobody.
Even
after his body was found.
Porter,
his best friend,
he wouldn't do anything.
Wouldn't help.
No, not at all.
In the slightest. And if you can hear my laptop, I'm sorry. It's a hot mess. It is what it is.
So at that point, you think, what the fuck's going on? So even weirder, right? Okay. This company, Stanberry and Associates, was before Rivera got there. Convicted and fined by Securities and Exchange Commission for giving false stock information and defrauding potential investors.
Mm-hmm.
So they were already in jeopardy of, well, I guess not jeopardy. They had already fucked up.
They had fucked up.
Yeah. But it was under the name of an umbrella company, Agora Investments or something like that. And I really think what they were trying to do was rebrand themselves, reimage themselves. That's part of the reason they brought Ray in.
Right. To help out with that. Right. And also because Ray was a writer, he wanted to produce movies and He wrote all the time.
Screenplays and
Yep.
shit. And then, I mean,
That was his
and he was
dream.
good at it.
Yep. Well,
Well,
apparently he wasn't good enough to
supposedly,
go
right.
anywhere with it, but
Right. He was
that's why he
amateur.
ended up having to move to Baltimore.
Correct.
So that hell happens.
That's where it's left, really. No one could. There was nothing.
There
no
was
evidence.
nothing.
I mean, his bones were fucking broken, but not completely consistent with a fall.
So the thing with the coroner's report, we still got some more information to tell you.
Right.
But the thing with the coroner's report was saying that the thing that threw him off was the shins
Right.
that shattered.
Right, 'cause
Because he said it wasn't consistent with the fall.
Right.
Like
Because
that.
if you think an impact with the shins from that height, 188 feet, down to that metal roof.
And this dude's like 6 foot something in his 200-pound range.
Right.
So he's a heavy dude.
Right. I don't know. I don't.
That part to me
It's weird.
didn't
right?
make sense.
The
In my head,
Yeah.
if you had enough velocity to go through the roof
Yeah. You weren't jumping like
of a room, right? If you went feet first, you pencil dove
you would have to pencil dive.
to get through that hole.
Right.
To make that kind of hole.
And
But,
to be
like-
consistent with those injuries,
Right. And if you were to pencil dive and go through a roof and hit the floor
a metal roof and hit a
metal
concrete
roof.
floor,
and hit a concrete floor, your shins are going to explode.
yeah, they're going to shatter.
So did they explode or were they just fractured?
I think they were just fractured
What if the roof slowed him down enough
to where it
to where it, when he hit the concrete, he wasn't going fast enough to explode his shins?
through a metal roof.
But the metal's not that thick. And then it's mostly just some 2x4s and some insulation
Okay,
and drywall.
But you jumped from 188 feet, quote unquote, and you're going to pencil it all the way down,
Why not? That's not that high.
halfway down.
I mean, it's a ways up.
But halfway down, you're going to be like, oh, fuck. And you don't think you would
Maybe
flail?
not.
Or you think the terminal velocity, you'd be able to keep that pencil?
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe it wasn't very windy.
I mean, could be. I just feel like you halfway down, you would be like, oh, fuck. And you would be flailing.
Right.
You know, something.
Maybe.
But okay, so at that height, 188 feet, you jump, but somehow your flip-flops, your phone, and your glasses just
Right.
fell off
Right.
as you went through the hole.
Maybe he was holding them in one of his hands when he jumped.
And then he just placed them as he fell through this fucking hole.
Well, maybe he hit. It slowed down his velocity enough that they could pop. See?
I just
okay,
didn't see
the
it.
flip-flop. That kind of makes sense.
Okay.
The flip-flop.
The
with the broken
flip-flop
strap.
does. I'll give you the
He's
flip-flop.
holding it in his hand.
Okay.
He hits. Okay?
Even before he hits that
We're already in agreement. He went through that hole.
in one way or another.
Whether he jumped, was coerced into jumping, they were able to get some sort of speedy moving
don't know.
table and shoved him. I don't know.
I don't know if he went through the hole.
I think he went through the hole.
I don't know if he did.
But regardless, right?
Right.
So there's that hole.
Okay.
That I'm pretty sure he went through.
Okay.
One way or another. But he's holding the flip-flops.
Right.
And his phone and his glasses.
Okay.
I don't know why you'd take all that off. I
Right.
get the flip-flops.
Sure. Because if he had to, he
hits.
would have had to run.
Right. He hits, right?
Okay.
He goes through. He's still holding that stuff.
But then he wouldn't be in a pencil.
Listen. He hits.
Okay.
And his arms come out just because of the sheer force.
Okay.
He can't hold them in.
Sure.
Or he's doing this.
Okay. You got his arms crossed.
He's got his
against
arms
chest.
crossed in front of his chest.
Yep.
And he's got the flip-flops over one of his arms.
Okay. I'm with you.
Okay. He hits. When he hits, he goes through that hole. Because the hole's so tight, his flip-flops catch, rip them out of his hand, and that's why that one side tore.
Okay.
Okay. And everything else was in the hand. Those things happened. I'm speculating now at this
Right.
point. The flip-flop thing makes sense
So
to
when
me
he
right now.
hits it and then it jars everything up
Pops out of his hand.
because he's going down. Those are Okay, I get it.
So his terminal velocity has slowed way down at that point.
Sure.
As he's going through the roof.
Okay.
Everything comes out of his hand. That's why his glasses aren't broke.
Okay.
The one flip-flop is broke because it tore out of his hand.
Okay.
And then the cell phone, glasses, cell phone, whatever, they didn't hit hard enough.
To make a.
I mean, it's very coincidental that they wouldn't have gotten scratched or anything.
It's possible.
But it's a possibility.
possible.
The
Probable?
thing that doesn't make sense is when they found those items, they were like his flip-flops were placed next to each other.
Right.
They weren't scattered.
Right.
Or upside down or turned different directions. They were
Correct.
like they were placed there.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. There are a lot of different possibilities here, right?
Yeah. So then, a little bit more backstory here.
Right.
Before he went missing, they have alarm system.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And one of the windows, somebody would try to break in, or so they think.
Right.
They thought.
Right.
The cop said it was probably a
Ray
squirrel.
and Allison. Right.
Yeah, Ray and Allison.
Cop said it was a squirrel.
Cop said it was a squirrel. First time, sure. Why
I
not?
thought you guys got some nuts in this house. Let me open this fucking window. Yum. No.
No,
I see them walnuts. I see them walnuts.
Oh, you got walnuts? I like walnuts.
Oh, sorry. That's Pennywise.
It's like Pennywise, dude. But the first time, fine. Maybe it's an animal.
Right.
It is what it is.
Okay.
The second time?
It was like the second week, right?
No, it's the next day.
Okay, so
It's either the next day or the next, like very
close together.
Very close together.
Sure.
And then didn't it happen a third time?
It
was either 2 or 3 times.
I think it was 2. It might have been 3, but I think it was 2.
And this was only a couple of days before
Right.
he went missing.
Right.
And during that time, he seemed very kind of on edge, like he was, because when the alarm first went off, didn't he get all like freaked out and grabbed a bat?
He grabbed a bat, and his wife was like, "I've never seen
the rage,
that
like
kind
the
of fear in his eyes."
Yeah. That to me,
Awkward. Like it would,
suspicious.
right? Super
It's
suspicious.
suspicious.
Like what the fuck? Right?
Somebody. So we got most of the information in here.
I think so.
We're only 20 minutes in, 17 minutes in,
Right.
which is fine. Now, I think we should go into what we think happened.
You want we think happened?
Well, you can do yours.
No, you
I'll
go
give you
first because
mine.
I don't know what happened.
What do
I
you-
have ideas. So
Yeah.
Okay.
So you
So-
start.
so-
You start because
so
I have a
I don't-
message on Facebook.
I'm just curious how there was no information that said about any organic matter in this whole opening of this hole. I didn't see anything about it. So that leads me to believe that I don't know. Maybe he didn't go through the hole, but something went through that hole. Something made that hole.
Okay.
And he could have possibly been placed there. I don't know. But I didn't see anything. If you hit metal and come down through this hole where there's a fucking roof, right? Mm-hmm. There's got to be some shit there, right? Why? Whatever.
They never said anything.
They did not say anything.
Did they not test the hole for DNA
No, I don't think so. Right? If you come
to
through,
actually determine if he went through that hole?
right? So this hole,
They're just speculated the whole time he jumped.
right?
Maybe the cops were in on it.
Or paid off. But this hole would have to have organic matter on it.
Absolutely.
You would have to get cut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Because if you're going through a metal roof, metal fuck sharp.
I'm pretty sure in the episode they did say he had lacerations.
Okay. All right. Maybe. But that's just what I'm thinking.
It's been like 2 weeks since I saw the episode.
Sure. He could have been dropped from a fucking helicopter, right? Maybe.
That one's far-fetched.
Right. But that would... to jump from that far away is like a 45-foot fucking gap.
I just came up with an idea why the helicopter one kind of makes sense.
Why?
What if,
Uh-huh.
hear me out here,
Okay, I'm listening.
his buddy did call him,
Uh-huh.
and no, you keep going.
All right,
I'll do mine. Sorry.
I think Porter Stansbury has something to do with it. If not just him, more people in it. They're the ones that found the hole
His coworkers.
randomly.
Yeah.
Okay, because his car wasn't parked at the top of this fucking structure.
It was not.
They found this hole out of the blue.
They decided to walk to the top of the structure and look over.
His coworkers. Okay. They find the body. Coworkers can't talk no more.
Right.
Nobody can talk no more.
So, yeah. So, what's
Coincidence?
what's your theory? Or are you just throwing stuff out?
I'm throwing things out, but I think this Porter guy had something to do with it. I think Ray found some shit that he wasn't supposed to find. I think he was You know, he was going to try to rebrand their image, but he's like, listen, if we're going to rebrand your image, you've got to tell me everything. I've got to know what I'm up against.
Right.
And so he's like, oh, this, and this. And he's like, they can't be it. I gotta do some looking. So he starts looking, and he finds some shit. He's like, what the fuck? And he confronts his buddy, because they're friends. He's like, hey.
Because he doesn't want his buddy to get in trouble
He's
again.
like, hey, I fucking found this shit. What the fuck is this? Oh, don't worry about that. Okay. All right. Whatever. Porter's like, fuck. We got to kill him. We got to fucking kill him. He knows.
Maybe Porter didn't want to kill him. It was some of the other ones. People he was indebted to.
That could be. Yeah.
Like the information he found out wasn't Stansberry's information. It was about somebody they were associated.
A client or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
That was could potentially lose a lot of money because of what he found out.
Right. Yeah. Either way, Stansberry is involved.
In one way or another, guaranteed.
You were so helpful.
How did they not subpoena?
I don't know. That's the other thing.
Or get a warrant to make somebody
had to get paid off. You had to pay off the cops.
You're investigating a murder.
And you don't subpoena the only guy who could have information? You don't subpoena the people who found the fucking hole where the dead body was?
Right.
No. You had to get paid off. No fucking way, dude.
You had to have.
No fucking way. I don't think he got dropped from the helicopter. I don't even know if he got fucking down through this hole, right? Who's to say that Porter and Stansberry didn't have an office, because they said there was offices up at the top of this fucking building. Who's to say they didn't have one of those offices? They fucking threw a fucking bowling ball or a fucking brick or something, right? Down through there. Okay?
The bowling ball would have made a smaller hole.
Either way, something. They threw something down there. Dragged his fucking body up to the roof, whatever. And put his ass down there after they fucking fucked him up or whatever. I don't know. It's a stretch. But he didn't jump.
No? Okay. So here's one of my theories of how he died and why.
Okay.
And how he got to where he was.
Okay.
This doesn't explain everything.
I think I have more too, but we'll get into that.
So he gets the phone call from Stansberry and Associates, and they know you can't trace individual phones in the building.
Right.
Okay.
And they would probably say, oh, it's just his work.
Right. Which makes sense.
Right.
Financial shit comes up all hours of the night.
Yep.
So he gets this phone call. His buddy, Porter says, hey, we have an opportunity to meet with a high-end client right now. He's free. He's offering to take us on a city tour in his private helicopter.
This is the part you just came up with, huh?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I've seen some other things saying why the helicopter thing doesn't make sense. I haven't read any of them.
Right. Yeah.
Because I didn't want to
subject yourself to
yes.
that. Yeah. Okay. No, that makes sense.
So they tell him where to park. Like, make sure you park over here because this is a high profile client. We don't want too much attention drawn. Okay. So he parks over there. Stays in his street clothes.
Okay. Yep.
So not to draw attention.
Right.
Goes to Stansberry and Associates. He walks there. Okay. So that way his vehicle's not in their parking lot.
Okay.
Gets in the helicopter, meets the client.
Right.
They're talking, having a good time.
Right.
They get him in the helicopter.
Okay.
Once they're up, I don't know why that exact spot. Right. It might have been a coincidence.
That's the strange part.
Right. It might just be a random coincidence that's where they were flying.
Or they could have.
Or they planned it.
Got an argument.
Right.
While I was up there.
They started asking him how
do you know about this?
How his work been?
Yeah.
Find anything interesting?
Sure.
So he starts slowly opening up.
Yeah,
then they start pressuring him.
Yeah. What do you fucking know?
What do you fucking know?
Yeah.
Who have you told?
Yeah, but if he says I don't know anything, I haven't told anybody.
You don't take somebody up in a helicopter if you don't know they know something.
And then they fucking kill him anyway? They were going to kill him anyway.
They were going to kill him anyway.
Okay. Yeah. Plausible. Definitely fucking plausible.
He had something in his house. He had information with him in his house, and that's why they tried to break in.
Okay, so before we get into it, there was a note found taped to the back of his computer.
We didn't even get to the fucking note.
Right. But do you think that note, and it was just had random shit on it, and
none of it seemed to be related to itself in any way.
Super random shit. Mm-hmm. Do you think that note maybe could have been deciphered by the right person as information?
As much as I want to think it could be,
Probably
because it's way cooler.
Right.
I feel like, so there's an exercise. So I went to this like manager training thing through the company I work with a little while. It's been a year or two, 2 years, 3 years. Shit, it's been a while. I went to this thing, and it was more of like a motivational speaker and how to talk to people, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. How not to be a dick.
Sort of. Mostly how to like talk to people and converse and, understand each other.
Right.
But at one point, he told everybody that there's a mind trick you can do to yourself.
Okay.
So what you do is you write down 5 things in your life that you want to change, work on, do better. You write them down and you keep it somewhere that you can see it every single day.
Okay.
Whether you work on it or not consciously,
you just see it.
Seeing it every day, you'll start doing stuff.
It's like subjective behavior.
Not even realizing it, right?
Right.
And you kind of have a background in this now because you've been going to school for whatever you've been doing. Right?
Yep.
Hopefully you remember some of it.
Yeah.
I personally think that's what the note was. He wrote down a bunch of stuff that inspired him and people that he wanted to be in his movies that he was going to write and friends that have helped him along the way, and taped it to the back of his computer. So every time he sat down at that computer and wanted to write, he had inspiration right there. He didn't have to look for it. It was just right there. Every time he sat down, it was in the back of his mind.
Okay.
That's what I personally think it was. I hope it's way more involved than that, and it's like some weird
there are some
Freemasonry,
right? And so that's the other thing is like
ciphers, and
he was doing a lot of research on Freemasons and ciphering and just some weird shit, right?
Right.
You could go down that rabbit hole all fucking day, but I don't think that's what it was.
I personally don't think so either.
It's possible, sure, if you believe in that kind of shit.
Anything's possible at this point because nobody knows what the fuck happened.
Right. That's the fucked
nobody
up
knows
part
why
about
he died,
this.
and it's because Stansbury and Associates is fucking in on it in some way or another. And they put a gag order on every single employee just in case any of them had any knowledge of what was going on.
Now, the fucked up part about this note, though, that was found, says wife won't release it, right?
Yeah, she won't put a picture. Like, she won't put clear pictures on the internet.
The
pictures that are on there are really hard to read. If you go to Reddit, you can find people that have like tried to decipher the whole thing word for word in the same.
Reddit is a sleuthing.
And I did end up finding an article. Somebody wrote it down word for word what they could, and then put question marks or like the word smudge because of water damage.
Right.
They tried their best.
Right.
But she will not release the note.
And to me, that's odd. Right.
A little bit. But I honestly think she's not releasing it because she doesn't want a bunch of crazy people contacting her.
That makes sense. I mean, the one thing that I have seen, and I only bring it up because I've seen it multiple times, is he lists Gerald's game.
Yes, or the game. Yep.
And I saw a clip of somebody says, like, how is this not fucking related? And it's a clip, and it's in the movie. This guy jumps off the top of a fucking building and goes through this glass into this party and survives.
Right.
Coincidence? I don't...
But for him to think that like he was living the game,
right,
he had to have been mentally unstable.
Right.
And nobody saw that?
Right.
Come on.
Right. Did they not see it, or did they not want to admit it?
Might have been a little bit of both. But his brother, Angel, he's like, because people said like he was mentally unstable.
Right.
And his brother, Angel's like, no, he wasn't.
Right. It's just
like
hard.
His brother is very adamant, and you can tell in his heart.
Right.
He's like, he was not that way.
Absolutely. The other loose end that I don't fucking understand. We don't hear anything about this other lady that was there with him.
Right.
Nothing. This Claudia lady.
But where? Well, again, they didn't ever interview her again after they got that statement.
She was the last one to see him alive.
She didn't see him, though. She was in the next room and heard him get a phone call and take off. He never said goodbye to her.
But you know what I mean? Like
Well, he might have said goodbye to her. She's the only person that...
Right. She was
the last one in the house with him.
Yeah. But if you look at it, this Claudia lady is the last person that has been around him since he's been alive. Right. How is she not called back to even be talked to?
Right.
To even just be like, hey, we need to know what the fuck.
Right.
Or why didn't she say anything? That's the only time she's fucking mentioned.
Mm-hmm. Right. Like, who, in retrospect, like, who really was she to the Riveras?
Right.
Why was she there?
Right.
And it was his wife's coworker.
Right. And that was living with them.
Why?
Yeah.
Why was she living there?
Right.
How long had she been involved with them?
And then why did she just move back right after?
Right after he disappeared?
Are they fucking? Well, who knows? Well, nobody knows. We don't know anything.
Was she terrified she was going to get found out? Got in contact, met Porter.
Oh, yeah.
Met Porter at one point. Right? Was talking to Porter like, I'm having an affair with Ray. I can't have them finding this out. Can you help me?
Right. And Porter says for the right price, yeah. Right?
But I feel like being a financial institute, she wouldn't have been able to afford enough to pay him.
Well, just remember, though, he had to pay fucking, what was it, $1.5 million in this lawsuit.
So maybe he was still down on his luck and still paying that shit off.
I mean, and we don't know what Allison or this Claudia did.
Right.
We don't know what their jobs are.
I feel like they're probably completely irrelevant to what happened.
Probably.
But again, they don't give you that information.
Right. It's just conspiracy at this point. Like, it's just hearsay. Yeah. You don't know. It's
so I tried to look up online because Unsolved Mysteries had to get these case files from somewhere.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
I tried to look them up.
Nothing.
I can't find them.
That's odd.
So Unsolved Mysteries posted on Reddit apparently everything they had.
Oh, really?
So people could try and
solve it.
Try and put pieces together, maybe help the investigation. But I couldn't find the case files and everything they had because it should be public domain.
Yeah.
It's public information.
Yep.
Unless there are certain things, because sometimes during investigations they will withhold certain pieces of information. That way, if somebody ever comes forward and relays that,
well, just remember the case isn't closed.
Right. But I mean,
so an ongoing case,
they won't give out certain information in case somebody comes forward with information that they never released.
Right.
So that way they know if it's real or not.
Right. And if they did proper police work, all the things that we've covered, they would have done. They would have talked to Claudia. Right. They would have, they would have hit all their fucking bases.
Yeah.
If they were doing what they were supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
But the FBI was involved too. So it's like,
but the FBI isn't a fix-all.
No, I know that.
They are much more thorough.
Right.
But they're better trained.
You know what? I don't know how involved they were because at one point they just sent that letter to the FBI and the FBI's like,
I think that was
not a suicide note.
I think that was about their involvement.
Right. So
they determined that the note was not cohesive with a suicide note.
Right. So
they determined it wasn't his suicide note.
Right. So
but if it's encrypted,
well,
see, that's the thing about like encrypted messages, right? I could make the world's most random thing on the planet and then come up with a key to put it all together.
Right.
You will never figure it out.
Do you think that's why she's being so secretive with this letter?
Because she knows?
Or she's looking for the key?
She's looking for the key and doesn't want it getting out.
Right.
I don't know.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Is your theory the helicopter theory, or you just think that's what could have happened?
That was just one theory I have.
So let's hear your theory.
So that was one of them.
What's your major theory?
My main theory,
right,
and what I think actually happened was Ray got a phone call from Stansberry.
Porter himself.
Porter Stansberry.
Okay.
Or somebody in that loop.
In the immediate circle.
In that immediate, like the owner, the higher ups, that immediate circle. he started digging into a story that he was going to write for Stansberry, stumbled upon something that he shouldn't have figured out. They found out he was looking into it. Either A, tried to get him to stop, and he said no.
Right.
And that's why he was so terrified that night.
Of the break-in?
Of the break-in, or attempted break-in.
Right.
They call him up, say, hey, whatever excuse they use, it was enough to get him excited to, like, go.
Right,
Or like maybe he was trying to get an interview with somebody that was hard to get an interview with, and they said, hey, we have him. He says he can meet right now. He's got about a half hour.
But if it's Porter, right, calling, I don't mean to interrupt your theory, but if Porter's calling, wouldn't Ray be a little bit like, I don't fucking know, because
Maybe
he had
not.
already
Maybe not. Maybe, like I said, that's why I said Ray's circle.
Okay.
Or not Ray's circle, Porter's circle. Maybe Porter wasn't fully involved in the disappearance, but he was pressured into getting Ray there.
Right.
Because it was his ass on the line.
Because otherwise he wouldn't have been so forthcoming in the beginning.
Right.
Right, yeah.
Okay. So Porter Stansberry's not the cause of Ray's disappearance, but he helped.
He helped cover it up.
He's an accessory.
Yeah.
Okay. He didn't want
accessory after the fact.
He didn't want Ray to die, but because of what he was under pressure for by some other people, he called him.
Okay.
Porter called Ray at home, said, hey, I need you down here for such and such reason, whatever it was, whether it was a meeting with somebody or he just said, hey, I need some help.
Okay.
Can you come help me? Or I'm having a personal issue. I'm going to kill myself because of what's going on. I need a friend. Okay. Because of what had happened previously where they got sued for the fraudulent information. Okay. Maybe he got into it again. Ray found out. Porter said, hey, I'm at the top of this building.
Lured him there, yeah.
Got him there somehow because other people were pressuring him because Ray found out.
Right. But the only problem with that is there was the video cameras didn't show.
That's a little weird. We didn't even say nothing about that. We'll get there. But anyway, so they get him there.
Gets him up there somehow.
Get him there.
Right.
And they say, we're meeting at Belvedere. We have a suite on such and such floor.
Yeah.
They get him in there. An altercation takes place of some kind. They threaten him. They threaten him, like his family.
Okay.
Say, if you release this or if you don't end it right now, we're going to kill your family.
Yeah.
We're going to kill your mother.
Yeah.
They know where they live.
Yeah, it gives them
everything.
Addresses and names.
They basically give him an ultimatum. You either jump or your family dies.
Huh? Yeah.
Because of the amount of money he was about to expose
to
these other places.
It's going to bankrupt him.
Right. It would cripple.
So you think then he went through that hole?
I think he went through the hole, even though they don't tell you if they checked the hole for his DNA in the episode.
But like we said, if they did proper police work, they would have.
Right. But watching the cold case files we've been watching, we watched one the other night. The fucking police department did nothing.
I've seen that.
It's awful. But anyway.
Yep.
Given they did the proper police work, I think he went through the hole.
Right.
I think they told him, you can do it or we can do it.
That would make sense.
They took him to the roof. He took off his flip-flops and he held all the shit in his hand so he could run. He took off running. The police say he couldn't have made that 40-foot trajectory from the hotel from 188 feet. They say he couldn't make it.
Yeah, but if you think about
but you have adrenaline pumping.
Right. And then just the sheer force from you jumping will carry you.
Right. You're not going to go straight off the roof. You jump, you're going to arc. You're going to get height first, and then you're going to start to fall. So before you start falling, you're already moving forward.
But okay, so why do you think the pencil move then? Because he didn't just flail all the way down.
Maybe he did flail,
Maybe.
all the way down. But as he was going to hit, when you jump into water, what is your first instinct if you're upright?
I guess just to
You put your
tighten
feet
up,
together and you tighten up.
Or he passed out.
Or he passed out. But if you passed out, he would have started to tumble.
I suppose.
He would have. So he was conscious when he went through that roof. Mm-hmm. But I think what happened was he did jump. And he had so much adrenaline pumping from
the roof, from the top
from
of
the
the
roof.
Okay.
Either the roof or a ledge or a window or however he did it.
Off of that building.
Off of that building.
Okay.
I think from the adrenaline alone and the terror he had, it was enough. Because like little tiny 100-pound women have been known to lift 1,000-pound, couple 1,000-pound cars off their kids.
Right.
Your body is capable of crazy things.
Absolutely.
Especially with adrenaline. I think his adrenaline took over. He had his shit in his hand so he could start running. He jumped. You arc. You get height first. So he's already moving forward before he starts to fall.
His forward trajectory, yeah.
That's how he makes that 40-foot distance. 40-ish feet, whatever the hell it was.
Right.
And as he's about to hit, your instinct is to tighten up. You don't hit the water when you jump from a height with your legs spread wide open.
Right.
You don't.
Yep.
That was just instinct. That's what his brain said. This is what you do when you're about to hit.
Right. Or he could have said, maybe I can survive if I...
Something. That's what I think happened. Stansberry and Associates is involved in one way or another. Otherwise, they would not have put a gag order out.
Right. Yeah, they have to.
They were into some shady shit.
Yep.
And they need to subpoena.
Oh, for sure.
They need to get warrants. They need to talk to those people. I don't care if you say, we're lawyered up, we're not talking.
But
it's a murder investigation.
Is if there was any evidence that they had, it's gone now.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone.
It's been too long.
Yep.
It's gone. It's a crazy case.
It's super nuts. There's so many possibilities of what could have happened.
It's too open-ended
It's way too
to ever be able to solve.
Fuck, the wife could have fucking been involved.
Maybe. And that was her alibi, was being out of town.
Yeah.
She found out Ray was doing some shit behind her back.
Yeah, with fucking Claudia.
Or Porter.
Oh, maybe. Huh.
The wife was cheating on him with Porter.
Yeah. She says, if you don't want this to get out,
I don't want to accuse her.
But we're just saying.
This is just
pure speculation.
Yes.
It's possible.
It's crazy.
If you don't
there's too many open-ended possibilities.
Yeah. Porter calls and says, "Hey, your wife called. She knows about us. Like,
maybe he was gay.
Yeah. She knows you've been sucking my dick at night. Like, she's tasted it.
Right. Something.
She's tired of it. It's hard to say. There's, like you said, there's so many. Why?
And she did seem like she genuinely loved her husband.
Yeah,
she cared. So I'm not saying
right.
I don't believe that at all. These are just conjecture. It's not even conjecture. It's total conspiracy theory.
Correct. Because no one has any fucking clue.
Yeah,
that's the fucked up part. Is like you don't know.
No idea.
No fucking clue.
None.
Anything could happen. He could have committed suicide.
He absolutely could have.
Could have.
And Claudia was in on it.
But the suicide?
But they confirmed he got a phone call.
Right. From Stansberry.
From Stansberry and Associates.
So that's if that wouldn't have happened, I would say probably suicide. Maybe suicide because of that. Maybe he got the call and they're like, we know that you've been looking at shit and we want to meet with you. And he's like, fuck.
He didn't even show up at Stansberry and Associates. He just said, fuck it, I'm going to kill myself.
He was going there. He's like, that's where he was going. And he's like, no, I gotta do something. I gotta jump off this fucking building.
Because he knows right then and there, it's done.
Right. He's fucked. He's going to financially ruin him, his wife, like everything. Like, so he's like, no.
They're going to sue him for whatever.
Yeah. He's like,
his wife's going to get the brunt of it. So he kills himself, knowing that if he's dead, Stansberry and Associates is clear.
Everything's
clear. He could have just gave him everything he had, but then he'd be living in fear,
right,
constantly
of his life,
forever.
Which he was already doing.
It sounds like it.
Fuck. There's so many.
We could talk about this shit for so long.
So many theories. Maybe he didn't even make the hole. Maybe it was the guy that worked at the fucking hotel. I don't,
He was a big dude. I don't think he made that hole.
No, but he could have thrown him. I don't fucking know. The mob. I don't fucking...
Maybe the coworkers that found him were involved.
That's what I was saying.
Because...
Or they knew something.
A lot of times when somebody is killed, the killer
inserts themselves into the investigation.
One way or another.
Yep. Yeah. I mean,
whether it's to help throw off the case.
Isn't that weird though? That it was the 3 coworkers that found this hole. Mm-hmm. His buddy put up the money.
Maybe it's a huge conspiracy.
We're helping. We're doing all we can
to try and throw you off
the trail. They found the body. All right, quiet.
Yep. Oh fuck! It didn't work.
Right. Weird.
I still don't understand how that's a legal thing to do. How you can just tell your whole company you can't say shit.
I don't know because he worked there.
It doesn't matter. Somebody died. Yeah. They're investigating his death.
Yeah.
This company he worked for and his best friend are like, nope. Legally, they can't talk to him.
I read something though that
doesn't make any sense. I
just read something that was like, Porter says that he didn't do that, and that's just what.
Then why did he neglect?
Unsolved Mysteries said he did.
Then why didn't he neglect to talk to them?
Right, but then the wife even said, the wife even said, she's like, he won't talk.
Yeah.
So
his best friend, the one that got them to move there,
right,
won't talk to her
unless he thinks that the wife did it.
Nah, that Porter dude's a shady fuck.
Super.
You know he's involved.
Yeah.
The police know he's involved.
Yep.
They have to.
He's got to have somebody on the books. Like
he's in cahoots with some big names.
He's got to be.
And if they ever got out, it would ruin a multi-billion-dollar corporation.
He paid a shit ton of money back, right?
Watch this. But watch after this episode comes out. We start getting threats.
We're gonna die. And well, if that happens, just so everyone knows,
we called it.
Porter Stansberry did it.
Porter Stansberry did it, or somebody he knows did it.
Correct. He was directly involved.
Look into them motherfuckers.
Bitches. But if I don't know. It's just fucking nuts. It's fucking nuts. If you guys have any other ideas, throw them out there.
If you know anybody with real information that could help them solve the case, contact Unsolved Mysteries. Yeah. Just look them up online.
I want to know what you guys think. Like,
let us know. We'll go.
Who did
I don't care.
Yeah, fuck it.
Who do you think did it? Let us know.
Yeah, for sure. Because that's what I think. I mean,
send us an email at bottom.otg@gmail.com.
Yeah, we're on all social media accounts.
Please don't use Twitter.
Yeah, don't Twitter us because we don't.
I still don't understand how
we
to
don't
use
Twitter
that properly.
We don't know how to Twitter.
We're not like Trump.
We don't know how to Twitter.
I don't know how to tweet.
By Facebook, like a motherfucker.
Facebook's probably the easiest.
Or
email. Email or Insta. Insta's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's super easy.
I'd say MySpace, but that shit's done.
Man, rip Tom.
Yeah, dude, that was such a nice guy. Your first friend ever.
I tell you.
Tom from MySpace.
Hey, he didn't try to fuck with your fucking rights or anything, you know? He's just
he's just like, here's our platform. Yeah. Have fun.
You want music on your profile? Fuck yeah, dude.
Here's a way to do it.
Yep.
Oh, you want sparklies and
let me teach you how to code
and some fancy stuff. Yeah, learned a lot of shit from that stuff.
Right? Yep. And then there's Zuck.
He's an android.
Zuck the fuck.
He's a lizard person.
Don't get sucked, everyone.
All right. Well, I think that's gonna do it for this episode. Because if we don't end it,
we'll just go down a rabbit hole.
It's gonna be a rabbit hole. It's gonna get really confusing.
Yeah.
We're going to confuse ourselves.
Yeah.
We're going to start talking about what we already talked about.
I think this will be a big hit.
Hopefully.
More Unsolved
People liked
Mysteries.
our last Unsolved Mysteries episode that we did a long time ago.
Look for some more.
At this point.
Because shit's about to go down.
Shit's about to go down? Well, we say that. It'll be like another month before it goes out.
You know, coronavirus. People are getting married. You know, things are happening.
Getting close. But I guess we'll catch everybody in the next episode.
Yeah. Stay safe out there. Don't jump through any holes.
Thanks for listening.
Bye. Peace.